Level 100. The pinnacle of power for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever reach this level. This is a series of videos in which I push Pokemon's levels to the absolute limit by raising them to 100 in unconventional ways and environments. Because, more or less, I'm crazy. This is the Level 100 Gauntlet. I hope you enjoy.
I'd like to preface this video by talking about the move Metronome. It's a very strange move that's been around since the first generation games. Basically, its effect states that the Pokemon wags its finger, and by doing that it somehow hypnotizes itself into randomly using any move out there. I don't know how it works, but it works that way. And to add even further confusion, there's also an item called the Metronome, which increases the power of consecutively used moves. And Metronome doesn't count for that, so the Metronome item actually doesn't work with the Metronome move. And to add even further confusion, the Metronome move isn't known as Metronome in Japan, it's known as Wag Finger, which makes sense because the animation for the move in every single game has been Pokemon wagging its finger. Granted, with the move being called Wag Finger, still doesn't make much sense for its effect. For today's challenge, I'm going to be raising a Pokemon to level 100 using only the move Metronome. It's going to be a wild ride, so I hope you enjoy. I was incredibly indecisive about which generation games I should do this on, so I let Twitter decide with a Twitter poll that I just made. And I will know which generation I'm doing it on within 24 hours. 24 hours later. Well, the results are in, and after 27 people voted, going with 3rd gen. And I'm going to raise it in Fire Red version because of the Versus Seeker. Pokemon that I'll be using for this challenge is just hatched on my Emerald version, and it is Teddiursa. Now, since I planned on using Teddiursa for this, I had to start it out in 3rd gen regardless of which generation won, because only in 3rd gen, in Emerald and Fire Red and Leaf Green, they're the move tutors for Metronome, and that's the only way Teddiursa can learn it. I chose Teddiursa in particular because Ursaring has very balanced attack and special attack. And I feel like having good stats in both of those is crucial for this because you're going to be using a lot of both throughout. So I taught the Teddiursa Metronome on my Emerald version, then I traded it over to Fire Red. Once I started this, I had no idea how or where I would start, and I just decided to film for the entire night how my journey with Teddiursa was going, and then from there decide what I needed to do and how I needed to train. I also decided to keep track of how many times it used self-destructive moves. And whenever I talk about self-destructive moves, I mean Memento, Explosion, or Self-Destruct, in which the user faints in order for the move to take place. What a valiant sacrifice. So early on. So valiant. A Memento and Explosion. And not even level 10 yet. In a situation like this, when I've run out of all of the move, I just have to run. It's really sad, especially when I got that far and like weakening that thing. That's part of the challenge. It's flying. Take off, Brave Bear. After a very long and painful first night, which mostly consisted of running back and forth from the Pokemon Center, I was eventually able to start battling actual trainers with the Versus Seeker instead of relying on wild Pokemon, and I managed to get up to level 22. I also have some other moves on my Teddiursa at this point, but rest assured I only use Metronome, and when I ran out of Metronomes I would use fake tears until the opponent made me faint so I wouldn't gain any extra experience from switching out. I decided that after the first night of this, I was running out of PP way too fast whenever I was battling all these trainers, so I decided to play it safe and go and find a PP max, which can be found on 2 Island in Fire Red, which will allow me to achieve the maximum number of Metronomes that I can use without having to heal at the Pokemon Center. I'm watching the Hoopa movie right now. Got roommate Dialga right here. And I am training Teddiursa while watching the movie.
just sneezed really hard, and I just happened to also use spit up at the same time, so we're in sync. The Reggies make the weirdest noises in these movies. It's a Pokemon movie that actually uses real donuts and mentions donuts. They really are donuts. We've come a long way.
Are you a Pokemon?
It evolved. It still hasn't learned. So over that course of the movie, plus some time, I've only gotten it up a few measly levels, and I'm just not satisfied with the rate of progress I've been making. So I'm going to do something that I've done in all the other games but haven't done in 3rd gen yet. I'm going to hunt for a lucky egg. And in order to find a lucky egg, I have to look for a Chansey in the Safari Zone and catch it. And 5% of Chanseys have lucky eggs, and Chansey is a 1% in most parts of the Safari Zone. So I'm going to hopefully try and get a lucky egg. But still surprisingly, I managed to find a shiny, which is a 1 in 8192 chance before even capturing a single Chansey. What? Shiny Nidorino. That was like not even that was so fast. It fled. Oh, lucky egg. Yes. Yes. Took 2,084 encounters and only like 6 chances to actually catch. But I got a lucky egg now. Ah, yes. We only found one shiny in the process and we failed it. But yes, now we can finally move in. Now we can finally move on in this Teddy Ursa Metronome quest. I guess it's an Ursa ring now. So let's go. So throughout this challenge, I've been using the Versus Seeker item a whole lot, which is only in Fire Red and Leaf Green and Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And it's made me come to a few realizations about how really freaking weird this item really is. It like sends out a signal that sends other trainers into a mad, crazed frenzy from what it seems. Like they're jumping up and down and doing all this crazy stuff. And then they say the exact same thing. And they're continually willing to let you just beat up their Pokemon senselessly. It's really weird, like, when you think about that. Because who would willingly do that? No one. And why can't we use it in caves, indoors, or in the forests? I have a theory about that. A serious theory. Those places have ceilings. Maybe the signal would reverberate off the ceiling and brainwash us. So really we're just brainwashing people into battling for us. Sickening, isn't it? December 28th now. It's been a while since I've even touched Teddy Ursa. It's close to being the middle of the night, and I'm about to just try streaming this for fun. Just to see what happens. I'm going to try recording the stream too. So let's see if any highlights happen, and if they do, they'll obviously be in here. If not, oh well, I get some levels in on the Ursa Ring, but in a cooler way. With streaming, and with people who are actually willing to watch me do this live. Which is probably very few people. But I love how shiny Pikachu looks. Now the bear is flying. Flying bear, everyone. Let me illustrate. This is Ursa Ring right now. Ooh, we're trying to seduce the Nidorina now. Very attractive bear. I imagined it trying to attack it with the... I imagined it trying to attract it with those dance moves down there. Just put the moves on it. Be your mash. I'm so dead right now.
Thank you for bringing me to life. That's what I should be thanking you for. You might think life would be a breeze. Is a travel from a distance, yeah. But it's not that easy. Oh no, oh no. Yeah, I would have to agree that that is the best possible anime opening theme song. There's no contesting it. Knuckles 9000, the meme lord, is in the building. We just transformed into a coughing. When you can't defeat your enemy, become the enemy. That's my motto. You know what? Let's just explode. End it all. Hey, and it hit. Yay. I don't know if that counts for the self-destruct counter, so I'm going to add like 0.5. So we've self-destructed it 11.5 times.
We've hit level 85, and I've got my Mucho Mango Arizona, some anime. We're almost there. I feel like if I kept going tonight for a few hours, I could probably get there. I found a new training spot, which is perfect for this level. It's, not in this wild grass. These 3 trainers right here. I used this when I was training my Butterfree to level 100 when I did a solo run of Fire Red and Leaf Green. And these 2 trainers right here have like average level 30 something Pokemon. And this girl has 3 level 47 Poliwhirls. And they're just experience factories, and I typically don't get like too hurt by them, so it's gone pretty well so far. And so I played through the night. And repeating the same process over and over again, I eventually got to level 99. One last level to go. Let's experience these last 28,618 experience together, shall we? Yay! 100. My in-game time at the beginning of this was 26 hours and 40 minutes, and by the end of it was 44 hours and 54 minutes. So overall, this took 18 hours and 14 minutes, which I say is actually a pretty reasonable amount of time.
Now that Ursaring is at level 100, I have one big plan. One day, I'm going to take on the Elite Four and only use Metronome. It's going to be a wild ride, so I hope you look forward to that day as much as I do. But until then, I'll see you next time.